And for Off the Block, I'm Vane Lipton. We are now joined by the head coach of the United States, John Hott, as the United States defeated Guatemala in 3 games today in the Norseca Continental Championships, and they have now assured themselves a spot in the quarterfinals. And, Coach, have to ask, this is one of these matches where I'm sure a lot of people are expecting you to win, but a pretty good Guatemala team. How would you assess your team's performance?
Well, I first of all, I appreciate everything you do for us, Vinny, so thank you. And, it's first of all an honor that I'm able to be here representing the United States with this group of guys and working with a great staff. Sam and Joaquin are fantastic, and obviously having Nate here has been great. So with that said, Guatemala was tough. And you see them on video, and they're a smaller group of kids, and they're a bit younger, and you can easily overlook a team like that. They gave Cuba a little bit of a run in the second set the first night, but, truthfully, we weren't that sharp, and I felt like we were just a little bit sloppy in serve receive. We were a little sloppy at the service line, and, I think we won the match, and that's a nice thing. So Guatemala was tough, and they kept the ball at the floor. They dug balls. They were chipping the ball at the outside of the hands, and credit to them for playing real hard and putting a little bit of pressure on us, which is what we needed at this point in the tournament.
Well, and with that being said, obviously your toughest test of the tournament so far is going to be tomorrow as you take on Cuba. Is there anything that you guys can do to clean up a little bit of the stuff that you saw tonight for tomorrow's match?
Yeah, I don't think I need to motivate these guys to get in there and battle against Cuba. We watched. We're going to get in the service gym tomorrow before the match and do a serve and pass and kind of work out a couple kinks. But it's hard in a gym in a situation like that to simulate a match that's of the same caliber as Cuba. So I really feel like again, a lot of it's gonna take care of itself. Cuba is fantastic. So there's gonna be a real test, and I think we match up well with them. But again, all things have to be going in our favor at that point. So it's gonna be fun.
And I want to ask you, TJ DeFalco, he's been putting up some good offensive numbers in these first 2 games. But I want to ask, I know he was beat up a little bit this summer. How nice is it to see him back on the court?
I'll tell you, it's great. And, you've been across the net from him for 4 years. I'm joking with Sam that I am real happy that he's on our side. And he has been a pro. He's been a leader. He's been a really good teammate, and we're really happy to have him and see him playing some ball.
Well, Coach, I do want to ask you about the chemistry on the team and everything, because a bit of an interesting situation. Obviously, a lot of the guys are great teammates, but there also is that internal battle as they're fighting to maybe, get on the Olympic roster, on the World Championship roster. How do you feel the team's done kind of battle or kind of dealing with those two dynamics?
Yeah, it's a great question, and one that was a concern for us as a staff going in. Maybe concern's not the right word, but this team has gelled in a really quick amount of time. So the first Monday of practice, we practiced for 5 days before we got on a plane, but the first practice was a little rough just executing, but when we left on Saturday, we were humming, and I felt like just how they interact with each other. They're supportive, they trust each other, they're just really good teammates, and it's a credit to John and his staff with USA to create this culture that is inclusive and competitive at the same time. So, these guys have been terrific in that regard.
Coach, a couple more questions before we let you go. I do want to ask you about a player who you're very familiar with, and that's Micah Johnson. He's kind of in the first couple months of his pro career, and I want to ask, have you seen, even in the short amount of time, any improvements in his game since you last were coaching him at UCLA?
Micah is he's like, and I've said this to Joaquin and a couple of guys that he's like a video game. You kind of move the joystick around, and there goes Micah, and he's if gosh, I don't know what he's technically, but he's worked on his setting, he's worked on his location, his tempo, his feel for the offense, his command of the team. His services game has always been good. So, to watch Micah, I'm super proud of him and where he is, and just I think his leadership and his again command of the team, I think is maybe been the biggest thing I've noticed. But yeah, he's running good offense. He's just a great leader and a great captain for this team. So I'm really happy and excited for him.
Now, the United States is already in the 2020 Olympics, but there's a lot of teams that this week is going to be the end of the dream of them getting into the Olympics. With that being said, I know you've coached a lot of international tournaments before, but with that on the line, is there an increased level of intensity at this event?
I haven't noticed it yet. We're going to see Canada play Mexico here in a few minutes, and Cuba just got done playing Dominican and beat them in 3, but Cuba seemed to play a little bit harder in this match, and I expect that Cuba's going to be great against us tomorrow, but the added pressure, I haven't felt it. I know there's a couple key guys from each roster that aren't here, and but certainly we know we're going to get teams' best, and again, yeah, I think it's every team's probably going through some of their own bits of adversity and pressure and things like that, but I haven't noticed it, to be honest with you, Vinny.
Okay. Well, and final question, Coach, and we'll let you go on this. I know you are focused on Team USA, but I do want to ask about some of the big college volleyball news that broke today with 6 Division II programs at the SIAC announcing that they're going to start men's volleyball. And I just want to get your thoughts on what you think that this may mean for the growth of the sport.
I think it's incredible, and I actually got off the phone with Coach Spraw a few hours ago, and he was telling me about it, and I know he's flying to Atlanta to do a press conference and break that news publicly, but I think just the efforts that John and his group and all the people at the historic black colleges are putting through and putting together for men's volleyball, I think it's fantastic. And what a great opportunity for just a lot of people and a lot of kids. And I know John's made it a point to, I asked him jokingly, I said, so am I getting these schools on our schedule? And he goes, 100%. I'm going to make that promise. So, yeah, UCLA will be showing up in those gyms, and I know we're real happy to support them, and I'm hoping the rest of the volleyball world does the same.